They all failed. These flies, they got blind, they got sterile, they couldn't fly, and they died. They all failed. There is not even one single positive mutation. Basically, all these experiments falsified the theory of evolution. Again, the theory of evolution, although I say the theory of evolution, it is not a theory because it is not verified by observation and experiments. It is falsified by observations and experiments. So it never became a theory. It was falsified by observation and experiments and proved that evolution never happened. And these evidences proves us the fact of creation. Basically, these scientists, they tried to create a different fly species. However, Allah says in the Quran, mankind, an example has been made, so listen to it carefully. Those whom you call upon besides Allah are not even able to create a single fly, even if they were to join together to do it. And if a fly steals something from them, they cannot get it back. How feeble are both the seeker and the sought. If you summarize why mutations are not an evolutionary mechanism, the first one is the direct effect of mutations is harmful. Second, mutations add no new information to an organism's DNA. Mutations only harms the existing information, genetic information. This is the most famous biology textbook of the world. It is the most famous one. It's called Campbell Textbook of Biology. Neil Campbell, the author of this book, says in the chapter about mutations, he makes his confession about mutations. He says, a random mutation is not likely to improve the genome any more than blindly firing a gunshot through the hood of a car is likely to improve an engine performance. Of course, if you take a gunshot and shoot your car, don't shoot your car. I do not recommend to do that. Of course, you will harm your car. You can do this 1 trillion times, and same is going to happen. It will not increase the performance of the car. Basically, Campbell knows mutations cannot be beneficial for the living beings. He says that. He says it is impossible for mutations to be beneficial. However, in the following chapters, he still defends mutations as the evolutionary mechanism. So this is not science. A scientist has to be objective. Science doesn't have an aim to reject the existence of a creator. We check the scientific evidences. If these scientific evidences lead us to the conclusion that the nature is being created, scientists have to accept this. So basically, defending impossible is not science. It is, evolution theory is a dogma. Now you see Professor Richard Dawkins over here. We started with Richard Dawkins. He is the most prominent evolutionist, most prominent defender of the theory of evolution in the world. He is also a militant atheist. Here, he will be asked single question to give a positive mutation, a beneficial mutation, or an evolutionary process which seems to increase the amount of genetic information. Let's see what his answer is.
Professor Dawkins, can you give an example of a genetic mutation or an evolutionary process which can be seen to increase the information in the genome?
See? No answer. Because there is no answer. Evolution never happened. The most prominent evolutionists in the world, he cannot give you one single example of a positive mutation. And according to the theory of evolution, there's supposed to be trillions and trillions. According to the theory of evolution, trillions and trillions of positive mutations for the millions of species to appear. So basically, out of these supposed so-called trillions and trillions of examples, the most prominent evolutionist in the world is a militant atheist. He cannot give you one single example because there is no evidence of evolution. All the evidences from the scientific, new scientific branches of scientific sciences, such as genetics, molecular biology, biochemistry, they all prove the fact of creation by God.